Hey everyone out there, glad you joined me for this video on what is a 1035 transfer. You typed that into the Google bar, didn't you? That's pretty cool. And the coolest part is I've done a video on it. So I'm glad you joined me. My name is Stan The Annuity Man. I'm America's annuity agent and the #1 annuity educator on the planet. I do sell annuities, but I like to educate my clients before they buy it. So let's do a quick answer on what a 1035 transfer is, and then I'm going to dig in, if you hang in there with me through this little music interlude after this answer, and we'll go through everything. So 1035 transfer is when you transfer from one annuity to another. The 1035 number, which you're going, what? Why 1035, Stan? 1035 is actually the IRS code. If you have no life and you just want to pull up the IRS code, pull up section 1035 and it covers annuity to annuity, life insurance to life insurance transfers. So with that being said, hang in there. I'm going to tell you a lot more and how to dig in further so you can fully understand what a 1035 transfer is. So here we go. A lot of people get 1035 transfers kind of mixed up with what's 1031 transfer. You go, Stan, 1035, 1031, I mean, what are you doing? You got to understand what's going on out there, right? 1031 is real estate to real estate, IRS code, read that too. But 1035 is about moving one annuity to another. We'll talk about annuities instead of life insurance because it applies there as well. But there's a lot more to it than just, can I transfer my annuity from one annuity to another? 1035 means that the IRS approves that transfer. It's a non-taxable event. It doesn't trigger any taxes, which is a good thing. I'll give you an example. Here's a story that happened recently. A person called me up and they said, hey, I've had this annuity for 10 years. It was a crap annuity. I won't mention the type. And I really just want to transfer it to something very, very simple. Can I do that? The answer is yes. Now, before we could do that though, I needed to know what he owned, what he had, and if it was transferable. So the question you got to say is, what do you mean if it's transferable? Aren't all annuities transferable under the 1035 clause? Technically, yes, but the annuity industry is trying to prevent, I guess you call it flipping or churning or twisting. In other words, agents out there moving annuities around just to create a commission. So there's governors in place, not actual governors of states, but guardrails in place so that you can't do that unless it's in the best interest of the client. I guess the best way to say it, if you do a side-by-side transfer of the annuity that you're going from to the annuity that you're going to, it has to be in mathematical favor of the client, not the agent. And so let's take a look at what that really means on paper on the whiteboard. So let me grab the pen. Okay, so let's look at the visual of how like a 1035 might not work or maybe how it would work. Here's the one, I got a recent call, a guy he bought a variable annuity with an income rider. Nothing wrong with that product at all, okay? But here's how a variable annuity with an income rider works. So in other words, it's a variable annuity, it has the mutual funds, they call them separate accounts, and then it has what's called an income rider on it. Two separate calculations. Now here was the problem. The mutual fund side was $500,000. The income rider side had grown to $750,000. So when he said to me, can I do a 1035 transfer to another annuity? My answer was no, and let me tell you why. Because the income rider is not transferable under 1035 rules. 1035 transfer rules say only the accumulation value is transferable, okay? This is not, that you're leaving that on the table. If you said, Stan the Annuity Man, we want to do business with you, we want you to be the agent, which is a good choice, by the way. I have to fill out a side-by-side comparison of the annuity that you own and the annuity that you're going into. Now, the problem in this situation, it's not a problem, it's just reality, and it's actually good. This part doesn't transfer. There's no way there's an annuity over here that's going to provide day one the benefits that you can get in the annuity that you're staying. That's a good thing. When people say they hate annuities, they really don't understand what the industry has done to try to prevent really bad situations from happening, churning, twisting, flipping from one annuity to another. So if an agent tried to fill out the form to go to another annuity and sent that application in, every single carrier out there would spit it back and say, not approved. I guarantee you that. They do not want people leaving that benefit on the table because that's what you'd be doing. So you got to say, well, Why did they do that? Well, think logically for a second. If you're an annuity company and you have an income rider, and most of the time, majority of the time, the income rider benefit typically, not all of the time, but typically is going to be higher than what I call the walkaway amount. Why do they do that? They do that for a couple of reasons. Number one, well, let's look at the positive. Number one, this is a great benefit if you want future income because that's where you're going to draw from, the higher of the two. But number two, this income rider has a fee on it. And that fee is for the life of the policy, and that fee comes out of the accumulation value for the life of the policy, which is the reason annuity companies have the big buildings, right? And the big logos on the plane. But here's the main reason I think, and I can never prove it, but if I'm an annuity company, I do this. You can't transfer it. In other words, in order to access that benefit of that higher dollar amount, you've got to stay in the policy, you've got to stay with that company, and you've got to turn on that income stream to access that higher dollar amount, which is a good thing for the carrier, and it actually is a pretty good thing for you too if you need lifetime income. You should have never put the income rider on there if you didn't need lifetime income, but it's good for both parties, but the annuity company gets to keep your money and then give it back to you, principal plus interest lifetime income stream, but they get to hold on to the bulk of it as they're paying you that lifetime income stream. So that's kind of the reality of 1035 exchanges, but let's look at a couple other examples, maybe one other example on how it will work. All right, so a guy called me the other day and he had a fixed rate annuity like a MYGA, and he had it for a long, long time. And he said, I want to 1035 it for a lifetime income stream. I said, well, when do you want the lifetime income stream? Because remember, there's only two questions you got to answer. What do you want the money to contractually do? And when do you want those contractual guarantees to start? Well, his answer was, I need a lifetime income. I want it to start immediately. So he needs an immediate annuity. So he has this MYGA. He has a MYGA. Remember what MYGA stands for, everybody? Fixed rate annuity, multi-year guarantee annuity. And he wants to go to an immediate annuity. Sounds good, right? But what has to happen before that's approved? Annuity companies, just looking at this, this is great. This is an easy one. 1035 transfer, you're going from a fixed rate annuity that's like a CD to a lifetime income stream annuity. It's good for the client, it's beneficial to the client, it's going to make sense. But before that happens, here's what has to happen legally. We have to go to this MYGA company that he's currently at, and we have to run an internal SPIA quote at that company. That's what we have to do. We have to make sure that when we run the SPIA quote here for him at StanTheAnnuityMan.com, that it's higher than what that company that he's currently at is providing. So let's look at both scenarios. Let's just say, all right, we ran the SPIA quote over here, and it's $3,000 a month, and we ran the SPIA quote, same parameters, at the MYGA company he's currently at, and it came back at $3,084 a month. He's got to stay. He's got to stay. It's bad news for the agent because the agent doesn't get paid the commission, but who gives a rip? It's not about the agent, it's about you. Now, do I get paid commissions? Of course. It's a net transaction coming from the reserves of the carrier. That's not the point, okay? The point is you have shopping all carriers because annuities are commodity type products. In order for this 1035 exchange to make sense, let's just say under the same scenario, this came back at $384 and this came back at $3,200. Then the 1035 exchange happens because it's in the best interest of the client. So 1035 exchange, just answered again, click. It's an IRS approved Section 1035 from annuity to annuity company, non-taxable event. But it has to be in your favor to do that. Okay, before we get to the down and dirty, the end, where we shake hands and wave goodbye, which we will. I've done another video on best annuities for seniors. And I don't want to lump seniors into this, the category. But the bottom line is senior citizens, however you want to frame that, whatever, they have all the money, right? They have a lot of the money. Senior citizens seem to be a target for annuity sales, which is unfortunate, even though a lot of senior citizens need the contractual guarantees of annuities. So I did this video called Best Annuities for Seniors, in my opinion, but I also went through the good and the bad of all of them and the limitations so that if you consider yourself a senior citizen or you're going in that direction like we all are, then you can make sure that you're not going to make a mistake and you're not going to buy the sizzle, you're going to buy the steaks. With that, make sure you see that video, take a look at that. Click the subscribe button, make sure you go to StanTheAnnuityMan.com if you want to see quotes, talk to me, or get my books. See you next time.